Hello, today we're going to learn how to enter an employee's timesheets as a supervisor in employee self-service. The first thing we want to do is we want to click on our web browser and we want to type in orangect.munisselfservice.com. Hit the enter key, and then we want to click on the login button. Next thing we want to do is we want to type in our username and password. Our username is the first letter of your first name and then your last name. So I'm going to log in as a supervisor here, and the password will be provided to you in the documentation. So now I'm going to click on login, and I'm going to type it in correctly this time, and then I'm going to click on login. And now what we can see is the employee self-service. In order to see our employees, we must click on time entry. And now you will see a list of employees in alphabetical order. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on an employee and see a little bit more information about this employee so I can edit timesheets. I'm going to click on the plus button here, and that will show me the employee's job class. By clicking on details, that will allow me to see the employee's timesheet. So now what we want to do is we're now in the approving time for employee. So as you can see, we have the approving time for this employee, and we want to click on the edit button. Obviously, the other things marked this week as approved and submit, we do not want to click. We're going to click on edit. Now, note some of the options here. This is a back button that will get us entirely back into that employee list. We do not want to click on it. This right here is the day, month, and as you can see, we can click on the prior week to get into the prior week. So if we click on this, we will be redirected back to November. And then if we click on this, we will be on January. And as you can see, the prior week will go to the prior week, and then the next week will go into the following week of that employee. Another handy feature is the ability to copy from the previous week. That will allow you to copy the information that was typed in to the previous week into the next week. And I will show you how that works. So what we're going to do is we're now going to basically enter in our time. So what we want to do is we're going to click on the time. Now in this case, we're going to do normal hourly time. But note that you can type in other time as well if you have overtime or if you have holiday overtime or any type of thing that's related to your department, especially if you work in the highway department or a department that uses overtime. So what we want to do is we're going to type in the hours. So I'm going to actually type in 7.5. And I'm going to type that in again. Seven and a half, and we've got our 7.5. What's really handy is if we know the next week's going to be the same hours, we can copy from the previous week, or if we go into the next week, we can then copy from the previous week. When I click on that button, what you'll see is now those individuals have 37.5 hours. So as you can see, if I go to the prior week, I've got this hour in here and this hour in here. That will allow us to go ahead and submit the timesheet. Now, if we make a mistake and we want to go back, the back button will abandon the changes until you hit submit. So if you make a mistake and just want to go back, in general, just hit that back button up there, and that won't save your stuff. But if you want to save it, you're going to click on submit. And basically by doing that, you're going to acknowledge that the timesheet is correct and it will be ready for you to approve. So if I hit the accept button now, I can see that timesheet is ready to be approved. So if once again I've submitted my timesheet, I'm going to hit that plus button, and now I can approve it. If I want to go back and make changes, I would click on details to make those changes. So say, for example, I go into details and I want to add some holiday overtime into the time. I'll hit the edit button here. And then I can type in the overtime or whatever time that's appropriate. So I'll put in 7.5 hours. I'll hit submit again. And I'll agree that it's correct for that employee. And once I hit accept, it will bring me back into the employee self-service. In this case, it was having a difficulty putting it in because right now the overtime's not functioning. But once you hit submit, that will work okay. If you run into an issue like this, you would want to click on employee self-service, and then you want to go back into time entry. And obviously, as you can see, we've got the time here, so we hit the plus button and we can hit approve. If you have any questions at all, please send a help desk ticket over to ishelp, or an email to ishelp@orange-ct.gov. Once again, that email is ishelp@orange-ct.gov. Thank you very much for watching this video, and stay tuned for more videos on employee self-service.